Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. Bitcoin is currently trading at 96,000 US dollar. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with low fees, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc, which usually has a similar trading volume to Bitget, OKX and Bybit, but as you can see today the trading volume is far much higher. But the takeoff fees are far much lower than on the other top crypto exchanges. 0.01% is nothing compared to the other top crypto exchanges. As you can see, they charge you more. And if you also want to get an additional 20% discount on those low takeoff fees, then you can find a referral link in the video description to get that 20% bonus. And 100 pairs are tradable without any fees, just on mexc, and here's a huge list of popular altcoins. So, BTC. We have said so far that Bitcoin is in a rectangle, or better, it was in a rectangle. This was the rectangle, which broke to the upside. We have said the target of that rectangle would be the 98,380 US dollar, but we have here a huge resistance block between 98,000 to 97,000, where the chances to get a bounce is very high. And as you can see, we got bounced here. Also with that push to the upside, on your right, this one, we also got to the target of the triangle. So I can also take this one out. So what now? I think we are currently, or might be, in a small double bottom pattern. This one here can be a nice double bottom pattern, but it's a small one. Means if we break the 96,525 US dollar to the upside, then we can get back into the resistance area 97,200 US dollar. That's the target of that double bottom pattern. Am I going to trade it? For sure no, because this is going to be a 0.68% push to the upside if we meet the target of that double bottom pattern. But what I think is that if we break the 98,000 US dollar to the upside, then the chances are very high that we meet the area 99,400 US dollar, because there's also a huge resistance. So basically, the whole area between 95,400 US dollar to 99,400 US dollar, so in that price range, we had a very huge resistance block, and you can see it. We got here rejected several times in a row. Then we pumped to the upside, but this pump here isn't impulsive anymore. Yeah, we got this here as an impulsive pump, and after that we got a corrective up move. So basically, I don't want to say that the top is here. We can still get a bit higher, but I think the chances are getting higher and higher that we slowly meet the top. And I think some confirmation would be if we break the 95,640 US dollar to the downside, which was the breakout of the rectangle. If we break in again, means we get a 1 hour candle close lower than the 95,640 US dollar, then it would be negative for Bitcoin. But I would wait for the currently 94,330 US dollar. This red trend line, I think, is going to tell us when the uptrend is done. This trend line is also smooth in my view. It's not very sharp. So basically, if the 94,000 US dollar falls and breaks to the downside, yeah, then we have many targets lower than us. We have one at 92,835 US dollar. We have one at 91,675 US dollar. We have one at $89,378. But what I would do is, I would actually use them, but listen carefully please. Those price marks, if they break to the downside, then I'm going to increase my position size. I don't want to take profits in those areas. Why that? Because I think we have here a fair value gap between 86,460 US dollar to 84,300 US dollar, which I think is going to get closed. We also have, if we use the Elite Wave method, then let me take the Fibonacci's from here to the top, and I'm going to have to change this a bit. So, and now it fits also to the support. I will explain it to you why. So we have also the Elite Wave method where we say, okay, this could be the wave 1 and we expect a wave 2, means an ABC correction into this purple box, which is between 83,400 US dollar to 79,480 US dollar. I will put you here some price marks. So, and what I personally speculate for is if the 78,950 US dollar are going to break to the downside. If yes, then I think that this on your left wasn't our low, and we should see the 70k again for Bitcoin. And this would also fit to the Elite Wave method, because the Elite Wave method, if the 79,477 US dollar breaks to the downside, then it would be negative and the chances are getting higher. So, what if we break to the downside, for example like this, and we get something like a bullish pattern where we can draw a trend line like this red one, for example. We will just make it then green and afterwards break it to the upside. Then this is going to be my exit point for the short trade. If we break nothing to the upside, or let's say if smaller patterns break to the upside, not a big deal, but if a huge one is going to develop and this huge one is going to break to the upside, where we can say this can get us into this top area here again, or even a higher high, then I'm going to leave the short trade. If not, then I'm using every price mark which you can see on the way down to increase my position size for the area 84,000 to 86,000, or maybe even the purple box. Yeah, we have to track that, how sharp we are going to sell off for Bitcoin. So what about Ethereum? As you can see, I have put you 3 circles lower than us. Those are fair value gaps, and those fair value gaps are going to get closed. The question is when? And I think that Ethereum still has some upside potential, because I have tracked here a bigger bull flag. If the currently 1,867 breaks to the upside, then we can close the fair value gap between 1,885 to 1,890 US dollar. I will also put here 2 price marks. This is going to get very realistic, and we might even overshoot it to 1,950 US dollar to 1,980 US dollar. But I think the chances are low for that scenario to push to the upside into that purple box. I think the fair value gap is going to get our minimum target. So, if we break that bull flag to the downside, that would also activate this possible double top pattern. And if we break it to the downside, then the target would be the 1,756 US dollar for the double top pattern. I have said this here is a double top pattern. So if that breaks to the downside, it can actually activate a bearish trend. But what I think is, in this area here we have a huge support block. And this area is going from 1,775 US dollar to 1,791 US dollar. So in that area, if that area breaks to the downside, then it would be negative for Ethereum. And then we will most likely go for the fair value gaps lower than us, down to 1.6k for Ethereum. And this is very realistic that we got this push here to the upside and getting this push to the downside just to make this afterwards. Yeah, so this is my plan at the moment. We got a nice push to the upside. I think we are in a bullish trend, but within the bullish trend we are going to see correction, and those corrections can also be 20% corrections. Let's see how much Ethereum can do. If we take the 1.6k, then it's 12%. So it's not much. In the bull market, sometimes 70% correction are normal, because after that the coin is just going to do a 400% push to the upside. I don't want to say that Ethereum is going to do it. I didn't say that, but corrections are normal. So I don't have anything more to say about Ethereum. Bull flag, if we break to the upside 1867, it would be positive, at least into the fair value gap. If we break the red trend line to the downside, then I think we are going for the fair value gaps. So thank you for watching. I hope that I gave you some valuable informations and some insights about my trading setup. See you.